Everybody, this is David coming to you today from Dallas, Texas. I'm here at my daughter's place. She and her husband and my son and his wife both live in the Dallas area, so it's great to be able to have them within 15 minutes of each other. So when we get to Dallas, we can just kind of hang out with both the kids and their spouses. Well, this is a Lesson 6 recap and Lesson 7 preview for MSOM 612. This is the final week, so I'm assuming that the three of you who are here will be graduating at the end of this course. So first of all, I just want to say thank you. Thanks for trusting CSU for your master's degree. Thanks for hanging with me and 2 or 3 courses over the life of your degree program. I do want to tell you this, and this is, I mean this from the bottom of my heart. If there's anything I can ever do for you after you graduate and going forward, you have my telephone number. It's part of the syllabus. You have my email address. Please contact me. Some of the best times that I've had in courses and instruction really come after the class is over. I've had numerous conversations with students after they've graduated, talking with them about opportunities. They bounce something off of me and say, hey, have you ever heard of this? Or get job advice or position advice. Or I actually helped one student start a nonprofit. And so, again, I mean this. If there's anything I can ever do, please contact me, because I don't want our relationship just to end here if there's some value that can be placed moving forward. So, again, that's my offer to you. Lesson 6 was an interesting one, hopefully for you. I did present in the discussion board question my presentation on the share economy. Now, I noticed in some of the comments that you had mentioned that you'd never heard that before. And again, share economy has many different words that are used out there. Some are the sharing economy, a collaborative economy. And many of you, I think it was kind of neat, in one of the comments talked about how this isn't new. I mean, bartering happened many years ago, and that is absolutely true. And it goes back to me. I don't know if you've ever heard this quote before, but it's from I think it's President Truman, Harry Truman, who said, "The only thing new is the history you don't know." And I've always liked that one, because it seems so true that what has been in the past becomes the future at some point in time. And so this whole sharing economy is actually disruptive. And one of the comments that one of you made, I can't remember which one, talked about disruptive, not being a bad word, but being a good word. And that's absolutely true. I mean, disruptive for innovative companies is a mark of honor. And so for those companies who are out there who are truly going for it, who are innovative and are seeking to be disruptors in categories, those are the folks you have to watch out for. And so for a lot of the things going on in the share economy, the millennials and younger folks out there are much more willing to focus on sharing and those types of things than I am. My daughter and her husband left today for Scotland. They're going to be there for 2 weeks, and they're traveling over through Scotland in Airbnbs. And if Jill and I went, we'd probably be staying in hotels somewhere. It's just they're much more willing to do that than we are. So. Again, it's much different with sometimes with age groups, sometimes with backgrounds, sometimes with countries, and so on and so on. So that's the share economy. The application this week talked about corporate social responsibility, and as I mentioned, that's one of those things that continue to be developing for corporations. I mean, some of the companies that are on the forefront of that obviously are Starbucks, Whole Foods. The CEO from Whole Foods has done several videos out there on corporate social responsibility, and so again, the premise behind that is that companies are in business to do more than just make money, and that is certainly a change from when I was growing up in the business 20 years ago. And so corporate social responsibility, the triple bottom line, I threw that one back in there too. Perhaps some of you remembered that one from your servant leadership course, MSOM 602, because we talked about that in that course as well. And then the course project this week really is where the funnel came to a head. I mean, we did the external analysis, we did the internal analysis. You had strategic issues that created strategic alternatives. Then it created a strategic recommendation. So the key thing for you to have done in this course project was to be very, very specific about what you thought that company should do as it related to the opportunities. Again, you can't do them all. You can only do a short number of those. So I'll be interested to see your dialogue on how you prioritize those, because it's very important to understand not only what you're prioritizing, but why you prioritized it that way, because it gives me an idea, it gives a future employer an idea on how you think and how you bring ideas down and through that funnel. And so that was lesson 6 this week. Lesson 7 is really kind of a wrap-up. So the discussion question this week really talks about implementation. This whole lesson is really about implementation. And I'm really sensitive on this one. And the main reason, I've worked with so many companies who will hire me for a lot of money and bring me in, spend a lot of time getting to know their company, and put together and work with them to develop all the things that we talked about. Again, external analysis, internal analysis, strategic issues, strategic alternatives, make a recommendation. And then they do something that just is beyond me, and they don't have an implementation plan. They forget to implement it. It goes in this really pretty book with a name on the outside that says Strategic Plan 2015, goes on a shelf, and they never look at it again. And so I'm really sensitive about implementation, because it's the old saying that 100% of all plans never implemented are never successful. You know, it's sort of like 100% of all short putts on a golf green never go in the cup. And those are true. I mean, so if you never decide to implement your strategic plan, it's not going to be successful. I guarantee it. And so that's really important this week, just to talk about implementation. So the discussion question is about implementation. And then the final part of your course project has you develop and put together an implementation plan to make sure that, at least if you're the one developing this strategic plan for the company that you've selected, they have an idea of how they can implement it. And so remember, implementation not only involves what you're implementing, but it puts together a timeline, it puts together a follow-up, puts together what happens if something, how do you adjust, how do you adapt in that particular area. So make sure that you're very, very specific on this. So if you think it's a 5-year strategic plan and these things are going to take, the first step will take 2 years and the next step will take 2 years, say that. Just don't say, we need to make sure that we stay on top of the timing on this. That's pretty general. Doesn't tell the person who's reading this anything. And so just make sure that you focus on specifics. And you probably saw that in my comments on some of your other papers. Again, generalizations are out of the way. You're big people now. You're big people working in big corporations and big companies. And they don't want generalities. They want specifics. And so make sure, as you put together this implementation plan, that you also focus on specifics there as well. All right? Well, if you're graduating, congratulations. Very well deserved. I've enjoyed the classes that we've had together. Again, my offer stands out there. If you think there's anything that I may be able to help you with as you go forward in your career, please make sure that you contact me with that as well. I look forward to seeing your submissions here in Lesson 7. All right? Have a great week, a great life. Blessings to you all. Hopefully, I'll talk to you sometime in the future. Take care.